All right, everybody, it is almost here. If you are an Apple fan, if you're a fan of VR, you are probably one of the very few, 180,000 people who have pre-ordered Apple Vision Pro. That is coming out later this week. And you're going to start seeing a bunch of reviews popping up on the internet this week, and people are going to be talking about it. People are going to be throwing their opinions out on why you should buy it, why you shouldn't buy it. The thing is, from standing on the outside, you have to understand that this isn't what everybody thinks it is. You have people who sit there and tell you that this is just like a glorified dev kit that is going to the public, that this is not necessarily the future of VR, but a stepping stone to something more. And in a way, that is correct, that this isn't exactly the next iteration of VR. And honestly, if you want to think about it, this is not the next step. When I think of VR, I think of the Meta Quest 2, the Meta Quest 3. That is VR. That is what you think of. You think of putting on a headset and kind of just being shut off from the world around you and going into what is a virtual reality. You should not be comparing Apple Vision Pro to the Meta Quest or any other VR headset. Yet that's what a lot of people are doing now, and that's what a lot of people are going to do over the next week, 2 weeks, months, as this thing comes out. And I think that's the wrong way to be going about it. On the flip side, you also have a lot of people who are going to sit there and say, well, the way you need to look at this is like as the iPhone or the first Mac or the Apple Watch. And to that, I would say, no, I don't think you look at it in that regard as well. Because this is something brand new. This is something not like anything else. The iPhone was like a phone. It was just the next generation in phones. The Apple Watch was the next generation in smartwatch technology. There were smartwatches at that time, not nearly as good or as advanced as the Apple Watch, but there were some out there. And let's talk, the Mac. I mean, we know what happened with the Mac over time. This isn't, though, a VR headset. This isn't. If you take a look at what they've been touting about it, it's free your desktop and your apps will follow. Meta has never done that. Meta Quest has never been about freeing your desktop. It has been about gaming. It's about standing, playing Beat Saber, taking those controllers and having fun. Apple Vision Pro doesn't necessarily look like it's all about having fun. It looks like it's about doing work and finding new ways to do work. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Then it says the ultimate theater wherever you are. Again, the Meta Quest and other VR headsets out there have never been about the ultimate theater. It's been about being active, getting into the game. Even this, they show pulling up a PlayStation controller to play a PlayStation game. So are they essentially trying to replace your video game console or your PC game? In a way, when you think about it, again, not the same as VR, but still something new, something different. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting held up. Nobody knows how to explain this thing. Nobody understands what this thing is. I don't even think Apple understands what this thing is yet. There's a lot of talk of what is it going to be in the future? What is it going to be 5 years from now? Everybody keeps talking, it's going to turn into spectacles at some point in time. Look, that is 15 to 20 years down the line. To get that type of technology into something this small, that's not something that's simple. That's not something that is just a few years down the road. That's a decade or more down. And I tell you what, I'm here for it. I'd love to see it. I hope I'm alive to see it. I think that's pretty cool. So what is the point of Apple Vision Pro? What is the point of them getting into this? Because personally, when I take a look at what they're doing with this, what they're showcasing, whether it's from the spatial computing, from theatrical experience, the ultimate theatrical experience in your home, to reliving moments, whether it's with your spatial video that you take or the panoramic photos that you take, to me, that doesn't seem like it's a lot that, is exciting. It really doesn't. And let's face it, they sit there and they're showing these FaceTime interactions, but we're not in 2020 anymore. The pandemic has passed us. And at this point in time, I don't think that FaceTime is as important as it was 3 or 4 years ago. Sure, it's kind of a way of the future and communicating with everybody and with each other, but I don't think it's as important as it could be, or was, I should say. It could be down the line, absolutely, but not with a big headset on like that. When it's down to spectacles, maybe. There's that show on Amazon Prime right now, what is it? Uploaded. I think they do it best, where there's like this little thing on your wrist and everything's just kind of like you put up your hand like this. Whoops, there we go, like that. And you see a little picture come up and there's a camera on your, like kind of your watch that looks at your face. I think that's more the future than this, but that's neither here nor there. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. The Apple Vision Pro, I'm getting back to, it isn't what you think it is. This isn't going to change the world when it comes to VR and the excitement that was around VR just a number of years ago. This isn't a look into the future of spectacles. I think this is just Apple trying to see what they can do. What can their hardware do now? What can their new hardware do right now? Their Apple silicone chips have been phenomenal with the iPads, with the Macs, with their phones. But what can it do now? What can it do that's different than what we've ever seen before? And then, once they create this thing, let's see what the developers can do. What does the public want to do with it? I don't think we're ever going to know, at least in this first year, maybe even the first 2 years, I don't think we're going to really know what the Apple Vision Pro is or what it's for. I think maybe in 3 or 4 years, we might know what it's for. We may have an idea at that point in time. Or it just may die off because this isn't the future. People aren't going to be walking around with big contraptions on their faces. Even if you put the weird googly eyes on there, people aren't going to want to do it. I mean, let's face it. Those weird googly eyes, look, it doesn't look great. Honestly. But let me know your thoughts on this. It comes out later this week. Unfortunately, I don't have the kind of money to drop $4,000 on something like this. I would love to try it out, though. I'm hoping maybe in a couple months I might be able to get to an Apple store and maybe they can give me a quick little demo just so I can check it out. But let me know what you think about the Apple Vision Pro. What do you think this is for? What do you think they are making it for? What do you think their goal is with the Apple Vision Pro? Let me know in the comments, and with all that said, I'll catch you all later.